when writing for voice, it's sort of self-evident in the vast majority of cases, but the text is everything. One of the most important things in writing for the voice is to work with the words rather than against the words or to ignore the words. Words have their own rhythm. Words have their own stresses. And like I always find it works best when you work with the stresses and with the rhythm of the words, and you work with that rather than create something afterwards. And I think I'm surprised when I see I hear the music of young composers and they haven't taken it into account. It's like, well, why wouldn't you? That's doing half the job for you. What are the important words and how are you going to make them important? What's the high point of the melody and what's going to happen there? Are you going to extend a word to make it longer, therefore making it important? So it's about being able to understand that. And again, that's how composers can bring new meaning to the text, can bring their own interpretation to the text, different from what's just on the page. What's interesting about writing for voice as opposed to, for example, a clarinet or a violin, which I also love to write for, is, of course, the words. And hopefully you can understand them. But it's the ability to set the words and then set it in different registers of the voice. Now, if I'm writing for a mezzo-soprano in a high register, it's got a very different character to the low register. The way the dynamics are set, the way what else is going on around it, how that supports the text. It just adds an extra dimension, and particularly when the words are important, particularly when you can hear the words. And the ability to translate musical concepts into words, like word painting. So if, for example, I'm talking about swarming ants, I'd put that into the vocal thing, and that's that's not a new technique by any means, but it's really exciting when you hear it. It's like, yeah, or the vocalist perhaps is making cicada type noises, and you're evoking not just the sound of a cicada or a group of cicadas, but all the connotations of that. What does that, remembering as a kid, bringing up those connotations of childhood and all that sort of stuff. For whoever's listening is really something tangible that the voice can do. The text has a rhythm. The text generates its own power. And so what's really exciting is you get a piece of text in front of you and then you can hear it. You can hear the rhythms of the words and they generate rhythms of the music, and that's so helpful. It makes life a lot easier because with text which has that sort of internal rhythm, which has that even internal melody, that internal structure, the internal ebb and flow, it makes music come. And so it's almost, it's multidisciplinary in fact. Just like if you're doing a ballet, it's not just about the music, it's about the whole experience. When writing for voice, it's not just about the notes, it's about how the meaning of the text relates to what you do. So it's like how the composer, how do I respond to this text? That's really exciting. And when it works well, it's thrilling. It's a thrilling thing to write.